Let's get straight to the point. Number 8, the just trap. You think you are being polite by softening your words, but you are actually handing people a license to ignore you completely. Here is a scenario you know too well. You send an email saying, "I just wanted to check in," or you knock on a door whispering, "I just have a little question." You think you are being respectful of their time. Wrong. You are actively destroying your own authority. This is what linguists call hedging, and it is the verbal equivalent of walking into a room with a kick me sign taped to your forehead. When you use qualifiers like just or sort of, you signal to the listener's primal brain that you are low status. You are framing your request as a burden before they even hear it. You are implying that your existence is an annoyance that must be minimized. Psychologically, humans naturally value confidence over competence. When you minimize your speech, people subconsciously assume your value is minimal too. It is a nasty cognitive bias, but it is real. Try deleting the word just from your vocabulary for 1 week. You will feel exposed, but notice the shift. You aren't being rude, you are being clear. Leaders do not just want a moment, they take it because they know they matter. Stop apologizing for taking up space.
Number 7, the self-roast ritual. You probably think making fun of yourself makes you sound humble, relatable, or charmingly self-aware. It doesn't. It makes you look like a total liability. We all have that friend, maybe it is you, who constantly says things like, "Oh, I am such a disaster," or "I am terrible at math, don't ask me." You are doing this to lower expectations so you can't fail, right? It is a defense mechanism. But here's the cold truth. You are engaging in negative self-signaling. There's a psychological concept called confirmation bias. Once you label yourself as disorganized or stupid, the people around you subconsciously start filtering your actions to match that label. They stop seeing your wins and only see the evidence that proves your insult was true. Even worse, it is actually incredibly rude. When you insult yourself, you force the listener into an awkward social contract where they have to disagree with you. They have to say, "No, you're great," just to break the tension. You aren't being modest, you are fishing for validation and forcing your friends to perform unpaid emotional labor to fix your insecurity. It is exhausting. If you keep telling people you are trash, eventually they're gonna believe you. Number 6. The compliment deflection. Here is a quick way to insult someone's intelligence while smiling. Someone tells you, "Hey, great job on that presentation." And you immediately reply, "Oh, it was nothing. I actually messed up the middle part." You think you are being modest. In reality, you are telling that person that they have bad taste and their opinion is wrong. When you deflect a compliment, you aren't showing humility. You are rejecting a gift. Psychologically, this creates a moment of social rejection. The person offered you a verbal gift, a massive dopamine hit, and you slapped it out of their hand. It gets deeper. This behavior is often rooted in low self-esteem, but for the other person, it is just annoying. It breaks the loop of social reciprocity. Humans are wired to exchange positive affirmations to build tribal bonds. When you say, "No, I look terrible today," you force the other person to double down and argue with you. Now you have turned a nice moment into a debate about your worth. It is awkward. It makes people hesitant to compliment you ever again because it is just too much work. The most confident move you can make isn't denying your greatness. It is looking them in the eye and saying 2 words. "Thank you." Stop making it weird.
Number 5, the apology reflex. If someone bumps into you at the store, do you instinctively say sorry? Stop it. You think you are being a peacemaker, but you are broadcasting a signal of total submission. In the animal kingdom, making yourself small prevents conflict, but in the office, it makes you look like a doormat. When you apologize for things not your fault, like the weather or a waiter getting your order wrong or simply existing, you train people to view you as the problem. This leads to a diluted reputation. If you are sorry for everything, you are sorry for nothing. When you actually mess up, your apology carries 0 weight because you have already spent your apology budget on someone else stepping on your toe. Here is the fix. Flip the script. Instead of apologizing for a negative, Thank them for a positive. Don't say, sorry, I am late. Say, thank you for waiting. It changes the dynamic from you being a screw-up to them being a generous person. It is a total power move that still feels polite. Stop saying sorry for taking up oxygen.
Number 4. The "does that make sense?" trap. You just finished explaining an idea and then you say it. Does that make sense? You think you are being considerate. In reality, that's the quickest way to shoot your credibility in the foot. By asking this, you are subconsciously broadcasting 2 terrible messages. First, you imply you're a bad communicator who can't string a coherent sentence together. Second, you are subtly insulting the listener's intelligence, suggesting they might be too slow to keep up. It is a lose-lose situation wrapped in a polite question. Psychologists call this assurance seeking. It is a verbal tick revealing insecurity. When you constantly ask if you make sense, you are begging for validation rather than leading. Imagine a pilot saying, "We are landing now, does that make sense?" You would be terrified. True confidence assumes clarity. You should assume you made sense because you know what you were talking about. If you need to check in, stop asking for permission. Swap it for, "What are your thoughts?" This shifts the dynamic from needing reassurance to inviting collaboration. It assumes you were clear and treats the other person as a peer, not a confused student. Stop doubting your words.
Number 3. The yes addiction. You think being the go-to person who never says no makes you indispensable. Actually, it makes you invisible. We're taught that being helpful is the ultimate virtue, but in the psychology of power dynamics, constant availability signals zero value. It is basic economics, supply and demand. If your time is infinite, its value drops to 0. When you agree to every favor, meeting, or shift, you aren't being a hero, you are being a resource to be mined until empty. Psychologists call this pathological agreeableness. It stems from a fear of conflict, not genuine kindness. The dark reality is that this breeds hidden resentment. You say yes when you scream no internally, and that cognitive dissonance rots your mood. People can smell that fake enthusiasm from miles away. Even worse, humans respect boundaries more than compliance. The person who says, "I can't do that right now," is viewed as a high-value professional with priorities. The person who says, "sure," to everything is viewed as a pushover with no direction. You teach people how to treat you. If you never say no, you are teaching them that your needs do not exist. Stop setting yourself on fire just to keep other people warm.
Number 2. The over-explanation trap. You think that by giving someone a detailed list of reasons why you can't come to their party or finish that project, you are being respectful. You aren't. You are looking incredibly guilty. When you say no and follow it up with a 5-minute monologue about your cat, your car trouble, and your grandmother's surgery, you are signaling that you do not believe you have the right to refuse. You are asking for permission, not setting a boundary. In negotiation psychology, there is a golden rule. He who speaks less wins. When you over-explain, you provide the other person with ammunition. If you say, "I can't because I have no money," they say, "It's cheap." If you say, "I have no time," they say, "It's quick." You turn a firm decision into a negotiable debate. This behavior is usually a trauma response, where you feel the need to jade, justify, argue, defend, and explain. Don't do it. High-status individuals give short, clear reasons or no reason at all. It is called executive presence. A CEO doesn't write a 3-page essay on why they are declining a meeting, they just decline. Silence is uncomfortable, but filling it with nervous excuses is pathetic. Your reasons are for you, not for the jury. Stop acting like you are on trial for living your own life.
Number 1. The submission smile. Here is the number 1 habit killing your reputation, and you are likely doing it subconsciously. Picture this: your boss is unfairly criticizing your work, or someone is being rude to you in public. You feel uncomfortable, so what do? You smile. You think you are de-escalating the situation or showing that you are chill. You aren't. You are broadcasting fear. In evolutionary psychology, this is known as the Fawn response. It is a primal defense mechanism where prey animals try to look harmless and agreeable to avoid being attacked. When you smile while being disrespected, you are literally signaling to the predator that you are safe to eat. This behavior destroys your status instantly. It tells the aggressor's subconscious brain that you accept their dominance and that their bad behavior is acceptable. It signals deep insecurity, not kindness. True power is found in congruence. Your face should match the situation. When someone crosses a line, the most powerful reaction isn't anger, and it certainly isn't a nervous grin. It is a deadpan, neutral stare. It is the poker face. By removing the emotional reaction, you force the other person to sit in the uncomfortable silence of their own rudeness. You mirror their aggression with a void. Stop smiling when you aren't happy. It confuses people, and worse, it makes you look like a victim in your own life. Reclaim your face, and you reclaim your power.
If you've realized you've been sabotaging yourself with toxic politeness, do yourself a favor. Hit that like button. It's the one time you should be agreeable. Share this with a friend who apologizes too much. They seriously need to hear this. We drop new videos every single day to help you hack your psychology and upgrade your life. So subscribe and ring the bell. Stop being nice, start being real. Catch you in the next one.